Yeah, so that was the situation. I had the thing, came back up, and I was eating fine. I was eating fine. I was talking. I didn't get out of my bed, because I was obviously sore, and I didn't know at the time that they had about four things going into me. They had one, obviously my stoma bag, which is where your intestines come out your belly a little bit. That's where you defecate from. They had another uh, cord for some strange reason coming up my left side. They had another wire going into my just above, just like your pubic area right there. They had another one, I think it's called a catheter, if I'm not mistaken, actually goes into your privates. So like I was just like, I didn't want to move because I'm thinking, how am I going to even walk anyway? You know what I mean? So I just literally stayed there. Food will come to me and whatnot. And because the drugs still kicked in, I wasn't in any pain and I was able to eat. But I wasn't defecating because what's happened is my bowels and my intestine, everything went to sleep. So when I woke back up now, it's not working as it should be working. But I tell you something, my brother, when they started to work again and they started to wake up, the pain was out of this world. That's where a lot of the trauma came for me. It was the pain that I went through after my surgery and not necessarily dealing with the fact that I'm a cancer patient. That's difficult to deal with, yeah, no doubt. But it was the pain. And the reason why I went through so much pain was because, and this is what was explained to me, Akhi, from the professionals, when they initially cut me, let's say for example they cut my hole like this, right? A hole in my belly like this, and then my intestines was poking out like that. They cut me when I'm sleeping. So naturally when you're, well, unconscious, when you're unconscious, your muscles are relaxed. So the hole that they gave me was sufficient for how my body was at the time. But now because I'm young, and when I woke up now, everything's starting to contract again, the hole closed up. So you can imagine when I wanted to defecate, and again, it's involuntary defecation. You just don't know when it's going to happen. You don't know when you're going to pass wind from that area, just like you would pass wind normally, but it just comes out of there. It's the most embarrassing thing. That led me not to want to go outside once I got out of hospital. And it just comes out. So I would be talking to you right now, and then I just might just go like, oh gosh, I need to change my bag. You with me? It's like that. So
So do you have that now?
alhamdulillah, I don't, by the grace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Alhamdulillah.
I don't. It's something that some people live with it for. Some people have to have it. If my cancer was further down my colon, right near the entrance, they would have had to remove my colon, which means I wouldn't have been able to hold my stool no more. So right now they took out like 17 centimeters. I think they went 7 centimeters up above the cancerous tumor, 7 centimeters down. So I've got my colon's going to be slightly shorter than the average colon, which means that if I need to go toilet number 2, I can't hold it as much as other people may be able to hold it. So if I need to go kind of thing, especially if it's number 2. So when my intestines and my body and my muscles started to contract again, I was in severe pain, right? Horrid experience, Akhi. And again, like I said, and I want to emphasize that the trauma that came wasn't from the cancer, it was from that experience there. But they didn't know. Imagine this. I'm experiencing all this pain that I shouldn't be experiencing, and the doctors don't know why. You know, they're saying, no, you should be okay. And I'm saying, I'm in pain. Like, they put me on this, I forget what it's called now. It's like, you can press this button morphine, that's it. They put me on morphine, but it's every 5 minutes I can press it and it'll give me a boost, right? Which will help. But the pain was out of this world. I was on another strong drug that I forget what it's called now. It's like the strongest drugs that you can give a patient at the time. And I was on 2 forms of anti-sickness tablets. In fact, one was a tablet, one was an injection. Akhi al-Habib, Faisal, as you probably know, the moment you inject anything into your veins, directly into your veins, that goes into your blood and stuff, it's gonna get into your body significantly faster than taking a tablet, because a tablet has to go through your digestive system and be broken down and stuff like that before it gets to where it needs to go. This particular anti-sickness would make me go blind for maybe like 10 minutes.
Whoa.
Actually, I couldn't even see my phone. When I took it, I didn't tell them at the time, and I'll tell you why I didn't tell them in a little while. I couldn't see my phone. Once they put it in me, it was the best feeling ever. and I couldn't see my phone, I would have to say to my wife at the time, just press this button, and then eventually my eyesight will come back. And the reason why I didn't tell them that I was experiencing that, because what they gave me felt so good, right? It felt so good. For that 10-15 minutes, it allowed me to escape what I was going through at that time. And I was scared at that time of them taking it away from me. So I just kept it to myself. But as a result of that, you know, the heavy drugs that they were giving, the ramifications of that, whilst it was kind of helping with the pain, I started to have serious hallucinations, akhi. Like hallucinating, like as real as you are right now in front of me in the computer screen. I would see things. I'm sleeping, but I'm thinking I'm awake. And I would say, for example, there's times where I'm thinking I'm awake. I know my wife's there. I know my sister's there, and I'm like, how do I turn on the washing machine? All right, and she'll be like, what washing machine? I say, and it's like when somebody questions me, then I hear myself. I'm like, right. I was like, I really just saw a washing machine. On one occasion, I saw a bearded woman walk in the room. I said, what was this? Is this woman with a beard? On one occasion, I saw my kids walk in the room. And I knew that that day, my kids were with my older sister. So I said to my wife, how comes the kids are here? I thought they were with my sister Dawn. She goes, nobody's here. It was stuff like that, you know. And I think and again, I'm giving you the summarized version. I was in hospital in total for like 2.5 months. 1 month, then I came out for a little bit, went back into A&E, came back out, then I went back in again. All of this is what contributed to the trauma that I'm still getting over to this day. Does that make sense? It's not the cancer. The cancer didn't hurt. You don't feel the cancer. You know, you might feel tired, blood in the stool and stuff like that. But the pain was because the surgery, they made an error. To no fault of their own, but they made an error. So it got so bad, akhi, and I'm going to tell you some things that I've never shared before, bro. It got so bad, as you can imagine. Well, let me ask you the question, akhi. Imagine if you need to go number 2, right? But it can't come out. Can't come out your rear end, and it's not coming out of your intestines. Where do you think it's going to come out? Where's the only other place for it to come out?
The front?
Nope.
The mouth?
Your mouth.
SubhanAllah.
When I was in hospital, before it actually happened to me, there was a Jamaican gentleman, right, who was on the other side. And it's weird, like when you're sick, you kind of have like this connection with other sick people. You with me? It's like we're going through this together. And I would hear him like shouting out, nurse, nurse. And then, you know, I just vomited out my mouth again. And then I could hear, you can hear everyone's business in those wards. I got to realize that he was vomiting feces. And in my head, I'm like, A'udhu Billah. Alhamdulillah, I've only got this. And I was somebody, akhi, that I was just so like, you know, I just didn't want to see anybody. I don't want to see no doctors or no nurses. So I would always have my curtains shut. Seldom, akhi, would I open up my curtains. Only if they said, oh, Mr. Beaumont, do you mind opening up your curtains? So, because I always asked for a window. I was trying to make the best out of a bad situation. I'm like, look, if I'm here, at least let me look outside. You get me? I'm young. I need to see something. I need to be inspired by something. And that view there of the canary, I think it's, what's that thing called? The wheel?
The London Eye.
London Eye. That's what I could see from my hospital bed.
Okay.
Every single night.
Oh,
that's
of course, because you was in South.
I was, yeah, exactly. I think it was St. Thomas's I was in.